I did that as if I was ready to start. All right, let's see. I still need a word. Okay, hold on. Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for September 25th. September 25th is the 268th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 269th in leap years, with 97 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is benefic. Benefic is an adjective that means beneficent or kindly. You might also hear it in astrology, in which case it relates to or denotes the planets of Jupiter and Venus, traditionally considered to have a favorable influence. The word benefic comes to us from Latin. I'd like to take a moment to mention that links to my research are included in the show notes. Ask you to go ahead and click that like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with others. You can do that with a nap. No, that's not how that works. We'll have to read that again. Okay. I'd like to take a moment to mention that links to my research are included in the show notes. Ask you to click that like button and consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with others. You could do this with a link in an email, message, or social media. There's a link in the show notes to my This Day in History playlist, where you can see all of them that are published if you want to. They don't always go up in order, and sometimes I get behind, and I apologize for that. And I do enjoy doing this, but it does take a while to do each day. Holy cow. Anyway, I think that goes in the iCards right up there as well, so look for that if you want to. And with that, we're going to start out when Columbus set out on his second voyage to America on September 25th, 1493. This is the birthday of Whig Prime Minister Henry Pelham, born September 25th, 1694. He introduced the Gin Acts, also known as the Sale of Spirits Act of 1750. This was an act of the Parliament of Great Britain, which was enacted in order to reduce the consumption of spirits. Let me know how that worked out for you. The consumption of spirits apparently was a popular pastime then, as it is now, was regarded as one of the primary causes of crime in London. Imagine that. By prohibiting gin distillers from selling to unlicensed merchants and increasing fees charged to merchants, it eliminated small gin shops, thereby restricting the distribution of gin to larger distillers and retailers. American Revolutionary War hero Ethan Allen was captured on September 25th, 1775. Sequoia National Park was established by the United States Congress on September 25th, 1890. As you might know, this park, located in California, is famous for its giant sequoia trees. This is the birthday of artist Mark Rothko, born September 25th, 1903. The signature style of Mark Rothko's paintings is what you could call color field painting. Bold blocks of color were given featured edges and together made up these large abstract compositions that remain particularly famous even today. Mark Rothko lived to the age of 66. This is the birthday of Russian composer Dmitri Shostakovich, born September 25th, 1906. He lived to the age of 68. This is the birthday of baseball great Phil Rizzuto, nicknamed Scooter. He played his entire career with the New York Yankees and was elected to the National Baseball Hall of Fame in 1994 by the Veterans Committee. I did get to meet him when I lived in Cooperstown. What a delightful character. Phil Rizzuto lived to the age of 89. On September 25th, 1926, a document known as the International Convention to Suppress the Slave Trade and Slavery was signed. Some of these documents have really long names. This was an international treaty created by the League of Nations, and now, even though the League of Nations as such no longer exists, this treaty does still exist. And since we also know that slavery does still exist in some places, I've placed a link in the show notes as to where you can read more about the treaty and see a list of which countries have signed this treaty and when they signed it. This is the birthday of American journalist, producer, and author Barbara Walters, born September 25th, 1929. She worked as a journalist from 1952 to 2015. Still alive, she turns 91 in 2020. This is the birthday of author, poet, illustrator, and songwriter Shel Silverstein, born September 25th, 1930. He's best known for dark comedy and children's fiction. Shel Silverstein lived to the age of 68. There were a lot of birthdays on September 25th throughout history. A good day for birthdays indeed. But I think that I'm going to let that do it for us today. I hope you learned some things you didn't know before. I know I sure did. I always do. As always, links to my research are included in the show notes. And again, if you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlist that is in the show notes that contains links to these videos, or in the iCards right up there. Again, thanks for watching. Give it a like if you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with others. I do have another channel, 8 Susquehanna. There's a link to that in the show notes. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Distractions. This is what happens when you don't clean up your script. I might leave that part out. I don't know how all that's going to go together, or if it's even going to make it to the video. We'll just see. That's not going to go. Yeah, we're going to cut those out. That'll all be laying on the cutting room floor. So I'll just do that whole thing over. That might not make it into the video. We'll see. Changing it up.